Yeah, I actually have some
I don't
thoughts. I
understand.
have some thoughts on that with Sean too, and I'm gonna share these thoughts because I'm gonna tell you, I'm not convinced that the guy is only doing this because he wants attention and money and everything else. I believe Sean really is an activist, but that doesn't mean he's a perfect person, right?
Hmm.
And but I mean, I've seen his energy online. He's on it.
I love
He's
him. I
dedicated.
like what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's good at it, right?
Hmm.
And here's the thing. Here's the argument I made. I said we have no problem accepting the idea that somebody who's the best in the world or something making a lot of money. Like if I told you Simone Biles made a bunch of money from doing cartwheels and so, or backflips, you wouldn't be surprised. If I told you that Naomi Osaka makes a bunch of money by being a great tennis player, you're not surprised. When I tell you Kevin Hart makes millions by being the best at telling jokes or one of the best, you're not surprised. But when Sean makes money, any amount of money for being the best at what he does, people are like, nah, that's BS. He needs to be poor. If he lives in he moved in an $800,000 house. What's wrong with him? He's clearly scamming people.
Well,
And
he made it very clear that his wife bought the house.
well, he did say that. But even if his wife hadn't bought it,
Hmm.
I think that's what black activists. That's why black activism does not succeed. Is that we believe activists have to take a vow of poverty to become activists. That if you ain't broke, struggling, if your kids ain't hungry and dusty and unfed, then you're not legitimate.
Yeah, so I think maybe I don't know about his business skills. Like, it just seems to me, what's your plan? What's your business plan?
That and there you go.
That's my thing.
Well,
Yeah.
another inherent mistake Sean is making. I think that he should do what a lot of pastors do in order to minimize the ambiguity. Is they will say, "Look, I got my church. I'm not taking no money from this church stuff, but I got my business over here, and this is, I'm selling books. I'm doing just like you. I'm making my money so I can feed my family, just like you are. Just like you go to UPS, you go to your job at McDonald's, you go to your job at wherever. I gotta find a way to make income also because this idea that an activist has to be broke to be legitimate. I think we got to sort of second guess that, and that's really more of a communist socialist ideology because that's why I don't go to the far left because they believe rich people are fundamentally evil. They tend to believe that corporations
Mhm.
are always evil, and I've always said that black people need activism that has an economic base because that's why you can't get shit done because you don't got no money. If you ain't got no money, you can't move the needle.
Now, I will say that when you come up with really good thoughts, and when you do a lot of research, and when you do a lot of reading, it's a full-time job. So I do understand, like, supporting that effort. Say, wow, you're giving me great information, and for this information, I can pay you for it. So it
Hmm.
seems like he's actually he had that North Star idea. That was a wonderful business plan for him to actually have initiated that. That could have been, I would have joined. That's something I would put my money behind. If
Right.
he had good content and
Hmm.
podcasts and stuff like that, he was offering me something, I would definitely sign up for that. For sure, he would have gotten my money.
And that's the
Hmm.
other
What
thing.
happened?
That's the other thing I'd like to ask Sean about. And
Hmm.
I want to acknowledge Rieslow.
What does
My
Rieslow say?
Rieslow Sanders. My brother Ryan.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Ryan's in the chat.
Okay, what's he
He
say?
says that Sean is the male Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It really is what I was thinking. Just if he really is he should just. How come he hasn't come out and talked about his ethnicity? I mean, I really think. Listen, I think it'd be great. Like, suppose he's a white guy. It'd be wonderful. He can model for other white men how to deal with these things. And there are a lot of white men who have issues with white supremacy and social justice issues and all of these same issues. I mean, you could use that as a like, use yourself. Some of what you do, you need to use yourself and your identity. It has to
Yeah,
come
it's.
across. The fact that we don't really, that I don't know, I should know.
Hmm.
And I don't follow him very closely. I don't follow anyone that closely, but I should know.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is I was really trying to understand both sides of the issue.
Hmm.
Because honestly, like with Sean, I never really had a strong feeling one way or the other. I just noticed what he was doing. I said, okay, apparently somebody really likes it. Good for him. I just
Hmm.
didn't care. But I didn't understand the amount of vitriol toward him. I totally hear when he was saying that he feels it's kind of a COINTELPRO operation to really undermine the momentum. Like you kill both the good and the bad. Like, okay, this guy's not
Yeah.
perfect, so let's just take him out completely, and then we also take out anything righteous, anything good he's ever done. We want to kill that too because that's what the white man's always done. But
Mhm.
but I wanted to read and say, well, what are people upset about? And I read this article in BuzzFeed, I believe, that really broke it down. And I think I don't know if I sent you the article or
Well,
not.
he used to work for BuzzFeed.
Did you?
Yes, I saw it on the
Interesting.
Wikipedia page.
Wow, I didn't know that. So that
Another.
well, that could have been a hit piece though. That could have been like, oh, we gonna get him.
Okay.
I have no idea, but check this out. So I was
Okay.
reading
What
the
did he say?
article and it was pretty detailed, and they kind of went down a list. The general theme of the article, and I encourage everybody to go read it. Like, do your research on people, whether you criticize or not. Um, and basically, it seemed like there was a trail of tears where it's like Sean would raise a bunch of money for something, and then not deliver on what he promised he was going to do. Like it started with 2011 where he oddly started raising money because he wanted to go climb a mountain. And then he started training to climb the mountain. And then he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. Now, in that case, I don't know if I think he might have gave the money back. But then, but I got this sense that there was this feeling, and the North Star was the big one. They said, okay, he starts the North Star. He says we're going to create content and podcasts, and he hired Ben Dixon. Ben Dixon has been on my podcast. He's been on my platform a lot. And we're going to make it big and just do these amazing things, and everybody's excited. Sigourney Weaver, the billionaire, Robert Smith, and some others, they were giving $10,000 a month to the North Star, and the membership fee was like $10 a month, and they had 30,000 members, so that's 300 grand a month. And from what I have read, there's a feeling that he did not deliver, that they did not follow through on what they said they were going to do.
What's going on that he didn't deliver? Like, if he had delivered on that, he could have bought not an $800,000 house. He could have bought a couple $1 million house with that, and done a really good job serving the public. What happened?
Well, you know what? It is. It appears he has what I call the Umar Johnson problem, and that problem is where your vision exceeds your administrative capability. If you that's why I'm always talking about to parents, and I tell them, you got to train your children to develop structure and organizations and systems so that they can delegate tasks to other people who are more competent than them in specific areas. Because if I try to do something big and massive, and I make myself the alpha and the omega of every single task that needs to be done, well, I'm doing everything in the whole organization, from the secretary's work all the way up to the CEO. That organization is probably going to fail. No, I don't care if you're working like a field slave. You can't do it all by yourself. And so, when I look at big projects like that, and that's the thing, people will get big platforms, so they'll make big announcements with these big projects, like I'm going to build a school, or I'm going to build a big, gigantic, massive. I'm going to build I'm going to build the first black space station, y'all.
Oh my God!
But listen, right? So so because they have a big social media platform, people will get excited, like, yeah, woo, and they'll donate a bunch of money to it. And then there's no ability to sort of implement all the tedious structure necessary to get that thing done. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to complete a big task.
It really is. It's really overwhelming. And then how do you feel? You've just like put yourself in an impossible situation, and you're overwhelmed by the details of it all. And you realize that you have got to have a whole entire team of people behind you. And so these are probably good, well-intentioned individuals who just have some weaknesses somewhere.
We're making that assumption, right?
That's the assumption
I'm
making.
I don't, and I'm not. Yeah, so I think that, like,
because it seems like that when I listen to the message, I can feel that is sincere. It's just, you're just, how are you going to deliver on it?